Welcome back to Power Cars. $143 million for one car, the most expensive vehicle ever sold at auction. And here's the crazy part. This car was never supposed to be sold. Mercedes kept it locked in their museum for 67 years until someone convinced them to break their own rules. What makes it worth more than a private jet? Stick around because this story is insane. Hit that subscribe button and let's go. May 5th, 2022, Stuttgart, Germany. Inside the Mercedes-Benz Museum, something unprecedented was happening. A secret auction. No public announcement, no press. Just 10 ultra-wealthy collectors invited by R.M. Sotheby's to bid on a car that wasn't supposed to exist outside Mercedes' vault. The car? A 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. And when the gavel finally dropped, the price was absolutely staggering, 135 million euros or 143 million US dollars. Let me put that in perspective. The previous record for the most expensive car ever sold,
and 35 million euros. Here it comes, and selling. It's yours. Spoke to you, sir. Thank you very much indeed. Congratulations.
a Ferrari 250 GTO at $70 million. This Mercedes doubled that record. It didn't just break it, it shattered it by over $70 million. To this day, nobody knows who bought it. The buyer's identity remains secret. But British car dealer Simon Kidston represented them. And here's the crazy part. He spent 18 months convincing Mercedes' board to even consider selling one of their two priceless museum pieces. This sale made headlines around the world because everyone thought Mercedes would never sell these cars. They were considered untouchable, museum only, never to be privately owned, until one person with unlimited money changed everything. Here's what makes this car so incredibly rare. Mercedes-Benz only built two of these, not 200, not 20, two. And before May 2022, both were owned by Mercedes and displayed in their museum. Think about that. For 67 years, these cars sat in Stuttgart, untouched, undriven, locked away as priceless artifacts. Car collectors around the world dreamed about owning one, but it was impossible. They simply weren't for sale at any price. Until 2022, when Mercedes shocked the automotive world by announcing they'd sell one, and only one, of their two 300 SLR Uhlenhaut coupes. The other, still in their museum in Stuttgart, and Mercedes has confirmed it will never be sold. So this was literally a once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-history opportunity. The only privately owned example of one of the most legendary cars ever created. No wonder someone paid $143 million. The car is named after Rudolf Uhlenhaut, Mercedes' chief engineer and an absolute legend. Here's the crazy part. When Mercedes built these two cars, Uhlenhaut claimed one as his company car. He daily drove a Formula One-powered prototype to commute to work. His secretary could hear him coming from miles away because the engine was so loud. He eventually needed hearing aids partly because of this car. And there are stories of him driving Stuttgart to Munich, normally 3 hours, in just over 1 hour. That's over 140 miles per hour average on 1950s highways. To understand why this car is worth $143 million, you need to know its racing DNA. The 300 SLR was based on Mercedes' W196 Formula One car, the same car that won 2 world championships with legendary driver Juan Manuel Fangio in 1954 and 1955. Mercedes took that championship-winning Formula One chassis and engine, enlarged it to 3.0 liters, and created the 300 SLR specifically for endurance racing. And it dominated. In 1955, the 300 SLR won the World Sports Car Championship, beating Ferrari and every other manufacturer. British driver Stirling Moss drove one to victory at the legendary Mille Miglia, a 1,000-mile race across Italy, at an average speed of 98 miles per hour. That record still stands today, 70 years later, and will never be broken because the Mille Miglia was banned for being too dangerous. The car won 5 of the 6 races it entered. It was unstoppable. But then came the Le Mans tragedy of 1955, the worst disaster in motorsport history. A Mercedes 300 SLR was involved in a crash that killed driver Pierre Levay and 83 spectators. The accident was so catastrophic that Mercedes immediately withdrew from all motorsport and wouldn't return to racing for decades. The 2 coupe versions, including the one that sold for $143 million, were being built for the Carrera Panamericana race in Mexico. But that race was also canceled after Le Mans. So these cars never raced. They became the only road-legal versions of one of the greatest race cars ever built. Let's talk about what makes this car so special mechanically. Under that long sculpted hood sits a 3.0-liter straight-8 engine, basically a Formula One motor adapted for endurance racing. It produces over 300 horsepower, which might not sound like much today, but remember, this is 1955. Most cars back then had 50 to 100 horsepower. The engine features desmodromic valves, an incredibly complex system where cams both open and close the valves, allowing it to rev safely to extremely high RPMs. It also has Bosch direct fuel injection, technology that was decades ahead of its time in the 1950s. The body is made from electron magnesium alloy, an ultra-lightweight material with a density less than a quarter of steel. The entire car weighs just 2,400 pounds, despite having a full steel tube space frame chassis. For comparison, a modern Mercedes S-Class weighs over 5,000 pounds. And the performance? Top speed was around 180 miles per hour, making it the fastest road-legal car in the world in 1955. And it could maintain that speed for hours, thanks to its endurance racing engineering. The famous Gullwing doors aren't just for show either. The space frame chassis has incredibly high door sills, so normal doors would be impossible to use. The Gullwing doors that open upward were actually an engineering solution that became one of the most iconic design features in automotive history. Step inside and you're immediately reminded, this is a race car, not a luxury vehicle. 2 checkered cloth seats sit incredibly low and tight. The steering wheel is a simple 4-spoke design that's removable, because drivers literally had to take it off just to climb into the car. Between the seats is a massive transmission tunnel that would get scorching hot during long races. There's no air conditioning, no power steering, no creature comforts whatsoever. Just raw mechanical components everywhere you look. The dashboard is filled with gauges monitoring engine temperature, oil pressure, fuel level, everything a race driver needs to know when pushing the car to its absolute limits for hours at a time. This isn't a car designed for comfort, it's designed for one thing, winning races, and that single-minded focus is part of what makes it so valuable today. So who paid $143 million? Nobody knows. The buyer's identity is top secret. But Mercedes had strict requirements. They needed to display the car at public events occasionally so enthusiasts could still see it. All 10 invited bidders were pre-screened billionaires. Can you imagine that room? 10 of the world's richest people bidding against each other for something that would never be available again? All the money went to charity, the Mercedes-Benz Fund for Environmental Science Scholarships. Since the sale, the car's been spotted a few times. In February 2025, someone filmed it cruising through Monaco during Grand Prix weekend. A $143 million car just casually driving between an Audi and a VW van, like it's no big deal. So why is this car worth $143 million when other classics sell for $10 to $20 million? The perfect storm rarity. Only 2 exist, Only one will ever be privately owned. Racing heritage. Based on a championship F1 car, built by a legendary engineer. Historical significance. Fastest road car of its era, connected to motorsport's triumph and tragedy. Provenance. Owned by Mercedes for 67 years, daily driven by its creator Rudolf Uhlenhaut himself. Exclusivity. This sale will never happen again. Once in history opportunity. When you're at this wealth level, $143 million is almost irrelevant. You're not buying a car. You're buying a piece of history that can never be replicated, never be matched, never be sold again. Let me put $143 million in perspective. You could buy 200 brand new Ferrari F8 Tributos, a private Boeing 737 jet, a 100-foot super yacht, a penthouse in Manhattan, all of the above and still have money left. Or you could buy this Mercedes. And honestly, at that level of wealth, this is probably the better investment. Those other things depreciate. This car, its value will only go up because it's literally irreplaceable. And there you have it. The story of the most expensive car ever sold. $143 million for a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. One of only two, locked away for 67 years and now owned by a mystery billionaire. Would you pay $143 million if you had unlimited money? Drop your answer in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe to Power Cars for more insane car content every week. Hit that bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Some cars aren't just transportation, they're priceless works of art. See you next time.